and thinks it will be easy to use his jab to keep Young Creed at bay.
You can see right away, Jim, how much more relaxed Conlon is. He's been there before. He's kind of nervous and he can wear you out as the fight goes on.
Creed backs off.
It's not easy to just jump right into the major leagues like this, having never fought an opponent like Conlon. Of course, there aren't many fighters like him.
Creed trying to get close to Conlon against the ropes. Conlon easily puts distance between them again. Creed lands the jab. Conlon wins that. Conlon fires a hard body shot, hits him hard with the right cross, and backs Creed into the ropes.
And he gets a warning from the referee. Creed kind of woke him up with that shot, and Conlon really made him pay for it.
Creed ready to let his hands go. Creed misses and gets hit in return. Inside. Down goes Creed. 3, 4, 5. Good. 6. Shrink it up. Fight. Conlon lands a shot after the bell, and round 1 was all Ricky Conlon. Now, board.
How's the eye? All right, look, don't get rattled.
You know the odds are. Do it in the next round. Don't wait.
You keep making mistakes like that, you're gonna pick you up with a vacuum cleaner, okay?
Come on, baby. What you do?
Keep getting jabbed. This foot on your right. When he leaves it out there, drop that right hook and smash him, okay? Stay focused.
So round 1 was a forbidden experience for young Adonis Creed, and now after a discussion with Rocky Balboa between rounds, he comes in for more. Conlon showed his power with the uppercut at the end of round 1, so he's back to boxing to begin the second. So far, it's still mostly Ricky Conlon. Hard left hook for Conlon, uppercut, drives Creed into the corner again. Creed backs him up and pushing into him to stop the onslaught.
Welcome to WWE Dynamite. AEW Dynamite. Shout out JR. Thank you for tuning in and watching my live watch-along reactions of AEW Dynamite this evening, as they'll have the first ever Road Rager event down in South Beach, Miami, Florida. Once again, thank you for tuning in and watching. As always, I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cool Hand Luke 96. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. That thumbs up button. Share hashtag AEW, hashtag AEW Dynamite, hashtag Road Rager, as well as we'll have a South Beach strap match along with a tag team championship street fight tonight as well. Chat questions and comments, super chats, super stickers, always greatly appreciated. Andrade El Idolo will face off versus Matt something, of course, Matt Seidel, formerly known as Evan Bourne, in the WWE. So a WWE match this July the 7th, 2021 in AEW with Andrade and Evan Bourne, now Andrade El Idolo and Matt Seidel. Just as we saw last night, NXT TakeOver Great American Bash, going back to TNA Impact with Eli Drake and Cameron Grimes. It was LA Knight go back to Eli Drake and Trevor Lee. Last night, it was LA Knight and Cameron Grimes for the $1 Million Championship. And with Knight retaining in the victory, Grimes now has to become Knight's new butler. So, as mentioned last night, happy Miro Day once again today, because Miro Day is every day. As I said last night, just taking one out of AEW's playbook there. I get it's a copycat league, it happens all the time, but something in that regard, it's, as I said, you couldn't come up with something better than, okay, if he loses, he has to become his new butler, which now Cameron Grimes, from what I've seen and heard, that he'll be going by the new nickname of $1 Million Butler. So only time will tell, as NXT next week will have an NXT Championship match with Karrion Kross and Johnny Gargano, and the Breakout Tournament will also begin. However, that was last night. That was NXT TakeOver Great American Bash, a TV special, if you will. They're on the road to SummerSlam, the next TakeOver next month. However, tonight, AEW returns to the road with live fans in the stands for the first time in a year and a half. They've been in Daly's place since last March, a week after COVID hit. They did go to QT Marshall's gym in the Atlanta area, so just north of Jacksonville in Georgia. However, they've been in northern Florida, right outside of TA Bank Field, home of the NFL's Jacksonville Jaguars, since last March, as mentioned. So hitting the road for the first time since then. They're in South Beach, Miami, Florida. They'll have the first ever Road Rager event, as mentioned, tonight. Live crowd, live fans. It's a live event. TNT, it's Wednesday night. You know what that means. AEW Dynamite about to begin. At the top of the hour. As mentioned, we'll have a South Beach strap match with Cody Rhodes and QT Marshall now, as he likes to be known as. The Young Bucks will defend their tag team titles as well in a street fight versus Penta El Zero Miedo, Penta El Zero M, as Ray Phoenix is still sidelined. But Penta will team up with Eddie Kingston as they'll challenge the Bucks of Youth for those tag team titles after winning a matchup just last week on Dynamite before JR closed out the show. After a damn good video package that was put together highlighting all the highlights from the past year and a half of AEW, but then he closes out saying thank you for watching WWE Dynamite. And we all know WWE does not have a show called Dynamite. They have Monday Night Raw, NXT, and Friday Night SmackDown. I mean, maybe, which I'm surprised WWE really didn't make any jokes about it just the other night on Raw or even NXT last week. Maybe this upcoming Friday on SmackDown. I highly doubt it, though. They're going to keep their mouth shut. I mean, they're keeping their mouth shut about the prison bitch himself, Jey Uso, or Jimmy Uso, his twin brother, I might add, once again after another DUI for him just the other night. But the Thunderdome's no more, basically. Yes, they do have one more show for both SmackDown and Raw inside Thunderdome, but those have already been pre-taped, and where, of course, this upcoming Friday and next Monday, as a week from Friday, July the 16th, that's when WWE will return to live fans in the Lone Star State of Texas. AEW will hit Texas next week and the following week before Charlotte, North Carolina hosts Fight for the Fallen in 3 weeks from now. So the next 4 Wednesdays, including tonight, I'll be live right here on YouTube for live watch-along reactions of AEW Dynamite with Road Rager tonight, Fyter Fest Night 1 next week, Fyter Fest Night 2 the following week, as Fyter Fest once again this year is a 2-night, 2-week event, and then Fight for the Fallen the week after that. So Road Rager tonight, Fyter Fest next 2 weeks, as they'll be in Austin and Dallas, Texas, and then Charlotte, North Carolina will host, as mentioned, Fight for the Fallen in 3 weeks before they'll have a homecoming in Duval once more, as they'll return for one final show, I would assume, for the rest of the year, as they'll try to hit as many cities as possibly can by the end of the calendar year, and then maybe a New Year's episode of some sorts, as they've done in the past, back in Daly's place. That'll be August the 4th, and then they'll be in my neck of the woods mid-August, as I'll have upcoming videos, of course, live right here on the channel with watch-alongs, if you will, but then also we'll be attending some pro wrestling events within the next month, both AEW and WWE, so keep an eye out for those videos right here on the channel. All you have to do is hit the red subscribe button, little notification bell next to it as well. I'll see Dynamite and the first ever Rampage, so that should be pretty exciting. But tonight, as mentioned, Road Rager gets us kick-started as AEW's hitting the road, as mentioned, once more for the first time in 16 months, which the last time they had a live show was in Salt Lake City. It was on my birthday, and the following week, Brody Lee was supposed to debut in his hometown of Rochester, New York. Rochester's going to get that show finally at the end of September, but of course Brody had to debut in front of no one, only had a short 9-month run in All Elite Wrestling before passing away the day after Christmas this past year. May he continue to rest in peace. So we'll see what happens tonight with Dynamite. a Road Rager. Matt Hardy actually debuted that same night as well to close out the show, if I can recall correctly. So speaking of, surprises, I'm not going to be shocked if AEW has something up their sleeve tonight for a potential surprise return or a debut of some sorts, just especially with hitting the road for the first time in quite a while. And you have live fans that aren't going to be the same fans that, for the most part, probably have attended all the events in Jacksonville. So maybe a John Moxley return, as we haven't seen him since Double or Nothing a little over a month ago now. But only time's going to tell. Creed about to wrap up here on TNT. So Dynamite about to begin at the top of the hour here in a few more minutes. So stay tuned. And as mentioned, thank you for tuning in and watching. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links always in the description below. Scroll down, check out Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, right here on YouTube. Hit the red subscribe button. Little notification bell next to it as well. Hit that. Easiest way to stay updates on social media. Thumbs up button. Share hashtag AEW, hashtag AEW Dynamite once more, hashtag Road Rager as well. I'm sure they're going to be making sure we use that hashtag when we're discussing Dynamite tonight on social media. If you have chat questions or comments, super chats, let me know down below. But expecting, a pretty good episode, I would think, of Dynamite tonight. I mean, on paper, it's got a pretty damn good card. In the end, though, I could very well see, 2 hours from now, it, being an average episode. As it's first ever Road Rager, I get they're going to have to, try to at least make a splash. But Fyter Fest is next week, and then the following week as well. And then Fight for the Fallen. So basically, this whole month of July for Dynamite, they returned to Wednesday nights last week for the first time in about a month at that point in time, as they were on a few Fridays and a Saturday as well. But this whole month of July for All Elite Wrestling, it's TV special, TV special, TV special, TV special. And then Rampage will debut in a little over a month from now, and that'll be on Friday night. So just as WWE's on a few nights a week, AEW will be as well at that point in time. So, future, as I always like to say, is bright for all these pro wrestling companies. But, only time's going to tell on what they end up, deciding on doing. And, because in the end, we're still going to be sitting here watching and probably complaining as much as we always do. But in the end, they know we're going to, watch as we are once again tonight. And we'll see if they roll anything new out. I did see a leaked image of the ring with the entrance, and it looks like your typical AEW entrance pre-pandemic for live shows, city to city. As mentioned, they're in Miami tonight, Austin next week, Dallas the following week, then Charlotte, back to Jacksonville, Pittsburgh, Houston, Milwaukee, and then Chicago for All Out. And then they still need to announce a date for September the 8th, October the 13th, and the 20th, as Boston got moved to the 27th of October. Soon, due to just with the center that they, of course, were going to have the event in, some sort of conflict. I, of course, don't know what that would entail, nor was I planning or am planning to go to that, so it really doesn't bother me any. But they'll be hitting New York City for the first time ever, mid-September, at Arthur Ashe Stadium, home of tennis's U.S. Open, and then Newark, New Jersey as well. Newark's actually first, and then NYC, and then Rochester, and then Philly. So they're going to be all over the place, and then I would assume they'll try to hit the Midwest again and, head out west, as that's where they were in Salt Lake City the last time they had a live event with live fans on the road, and now on TNT, AEW Dynamite down in South Beach, Miami, Florida. Next 2 hours with a strap match and a tag team championship street fight as your two main matches of the evening, along with a Kenny Omega interview a face-to-face with Jericho and MJF, as well as the Inner Circle and Pinnacle, a 6-man tag with those factions as well. It's Wednesday night. You know what that means. We got Pyro. We got a live sold-out crowd. AEW Dynamite Road Rager. We got JR, Jim Ross, along with Tony Schiavone and Excalibur on the call. Justin Roberts in the ring, and the lights have gone out. Cody Rhodes going to kick off the night versus QT Marshall in the South Beach strap match. So they're going to not waste any time and get the show on the road here. It's a Road Rager for AEW Dynamite. And it's good to see fans back in the stands, that's for damn sure. As you know, a week from Friday, WWE also going to be doing the same in Houston. So I don't know why I'm getting emotional. It's just, it's good to see fans back, that's for damn sure. As here comes the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Great American Bash was last night. I'm sure his dad, Dusty Rhodes, of course, would be proud. He's coming out in a Great American Bash attire with the American Nightmare U.S. flag logo on the Titantron. It looks like QT Marshall's already in the ring, and he is. So he got a jobber entrance. Cody's going to end up winning this anyway. They're going to try to keep this crowd as hot as they possibly can the whole entire night. And I'm sure they already filmed some, whether it be AEW Dark or AEW Dark Elevation matches, along with potentially having a few more post-Dynamite tonight for Road Rager, as they're live. And another strap match. We've seen a few of these as of late. AEW did one a few months ago after, and QT Marshall tells Cody to shove it as he gets out of the ring, and then a suicide dive to kick things off, and now Cody's going to throw him back into the ring. So they got to lock up before the bell even rings to get this match underway. They got a strap in, bell rings, match underway. The strap match is now official. Cody and Brody had a strap match, along with a dog collar match, if I'm correct, in Brody's final few weeks with the company. And then really didn't see any of these type of matches. Hell, we haven't even really seen any of these type of matches in forever, I might add. But they basically took the winner off, it seemed like, and then they rolled out another one right before Double or Nothing, I believe, or hell, it might even been right after. It was on one of those Friday or Saturday shows, if I'm not mistaken. And then, of course, WWE had to do the same thing just a few weeks ago on Raw with Elias and Jackson Riker. And now AEW with being in South Beach. Well, South Beach strap match goes. It sounds good off the tongue. And Cody Rhodes and QT Marshall now in the strap match. There's a strap shot right to the back. That had to hurt like hell. Crowd wanting a few more, but QT Marshall reversing with a kick as they're into the corner. And then another, as QT went for a moonsault, another strap shot to the stomach, and now a few more to the back in the middle of the ring. We got Arn Anderson, the enforcer himself, as Samoa Joe's the new enforcer in NXT. He's ringside for the Nightmare family in Cody Rhodes' corner. And then we got the Factory, of course, QT Marshall's group, ringside as well, as they actually interfere. And here comes Dustin Rhodes, Gold Dust, and big right hand to Ding Dong Hello. There's Aaron Solo. Shout out to Bailey. And now they're going to fight into the crowd, giving these fans exactly what they want, not even 10 minutes into the show. And now they're going to fight up the steps, but the match is still going on. A low blow with the strap from QT to Cody. Does Shivani sound a little bit different on commentary tonight? Does he have a cold or something like that? His voice just sounds a little off. QT now in control of these strap shots. Now wrapping around Cody's neck. Slap in the corner on the top turnbuckle. There's two. They're going to go the whole way around. This is an old school strap match. I'm sure Dusty wrestled in a few at Great American Bash of all events. And then, of course, NXT had that last night, and then AEW with Road Rager tonight. And Road Rager, I feel like nice suplex there from QT, because with all the copyrights, WCW had Bash at the Beach, and 25 years ago today, the NWO was formed. So, too sweet me. When AEW became a thing, of course, WWE had bought out WCW. They have owned everything. Well, AEW, last time they were in Miami, they used Bash at the Beach. It was in January. DDP had a match, if I'm not mistaken. Now they're fighting ringside into the corner, and QT goes face first into the post as Cody's high-fiving some fans front row. But, and there's Arn Anderson and encouraging him, hey, you're good. Take your time. No need to rush. I don't think Roberts, he might have, Justin Roberts, the ring announcer, had said anything about a time limit for this match. If so, it's probably going to be a 20-minute time limit. Because normally that's, and of course, QT Marshall is now bleeding from his face. I'm sure he bladed there a little bit ringside. Cody with two in the corner now. The lights have gone out. All right, are we getting a surprise already? And they zoom out with the hard camera, and it was what we got for a view. And that might be a tease too, with the lights going out throughout the entire show, and then a potential big surprise at the end maybe. We'll see. I think I see Malachi Black's up there in the nosebleeds, but anyways, I know Dan Levitard was supposed to be at the show tonight. I don't know if he ended up going or not, but in the end here, long story short, yeah, that view they just gave us, that's what we got from both AEW and the WWE. Not for quite a while, but for a good amount of time, just right after the pandemic began, with them, of course, having no fans in the stands. QT, you suck chants. QT sucks as they fight in the corner. But this strap match with Cody and QT going to continue here. But they gave us that camera angle with what they gave us, you know, about a year and a half ago now, with them, of course, only doing it for a short amount of time until they figured out, okay, this is how we're going to present it, because this is how it's going to be for quite a while. You know, only do something once so you don't have to, you know, continue to fix your mistakes or add more work for yourself. But nice big power bomb there off the top rope from QT to Cody Rhodes. But Bash at the Beach had to go away for AEW because, of course, WWE owns that. But then that sort of turned into Beach Break, which we get January, February for AEW. But then now they introduce Road Rager, and it has the same style font, the same color schemes. It might turn into a, you know, yearly event like, you know, Blood and Guts and Fighter Fest and Fight for the Fallen Honor, along with, Beach Break and, a few other TV specials, if you will, that both AEW and NXT or have been doing as of late, bringing back older shows or introducing new ones. You got to keep us fans, on the edge of their seat. And as mentioned, with the lights going out there during the strap match, and then they zoomed out, gave us that shot, and nobody was there. Match still going on here. I'm not going to be shocked if they continue to have. I hate to say it, technical difficulties, because knock on wood, I don't want to have it happen to myself. Nice neck breaker off the top rope there from QT to Cody as the tides have turned down in Miami just a short time after Hurricane Elsa came up the coast of the Gulf, now in northern Florida. Jacksonville would be getting hit right now if they were still there with large amounts of rain, but they're down southern part of the state, 90 miles from Cuba. But QT got, I believe, 2 or 3 slaps on the turnbuckle, and then now back to fighting Cody. But QT in charge and control right now, but Cody gonna try to turn things around here. He tells him bring it on, and Cody just taking those slaps right to the chest with his strap. And then big clothesline, big boot and a right hand now as well. Some chops, going old school Dusty style. And spine buster turned into sort of a botched DDT, I guess. I don't even know what the hell that was. And then some more straps to the back. But now Cody off the top rope. And a diamond cutter. Shot DDP, bang for that. And then Arn Anderson doing an Undertaker throat slash ringside. But 1 in the corner for this strap match. 2, QT back on his feet. If in fact these segments, or just whenever they're going to have it happen throughout the night with the lights going out, whether they're going to say they're technical difficulties or not, at the end of the show, I would expect something, not necessarily big to happen, but crossroads in the middle of the ring from Cody to QT. That's 1. Another crossroads, and he still has it locked in. Hey, third time's a charm. Here we go. 3 crossroads from Cody Rhodes to QT Marshall in the middle of the ring. 1 in the corner. 2 in the corner. 3. Cody's 1 away from winning the strap match. He does just that, and Cody Rhodes defeats QT Marshall in the South Beach strap match on AEW Dynamite Road Rager, as they have returned to the road as they're in Miami before hitting Austin and Dallas, followed by Charlotte the next few weeks. Cody gonna celebrate now, get up in the corner, but potentially a surprise return or debut of some sorts. We'll see. I don't know, but we still have to come tonight the Young Bucks taking on Penta and Eddie Kingston in a street fight for the AEW World Tag Team titles. A face-to-face standoff with Jericho and MJF as well. Andrade and Sydal in singles competition. Andrade is going to pick up the win there. He's never wrestled yet for AEW after debuting last month on a Friday night. We'll also have a mixed tag match with Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander of Best Friends taking on the Blade and the Bunny. Also, 6-man tag with the Inner Circle and Pinnacle. It'll be Hager, Santana Ortiz taking on Wardlow and FTR, as they've been in AEW now for about a year, which is hard to believe. Now, recap from last week with the Perfect 10 chairman himself, Sean Spears, chair shot to Sammy Guevara, allowing MJF to pick up the win in last week's main event to close out AEW in Jacksonville before JR called it WWE Dynamite. And then earlier today now, we got Sean Spears backstage cutting the promo. There's the chairman himself. Of course, that's a shot to Vince.
Look at you.
Look at me. Look at you.
Real answer, Sammy, is your ego was your greatest hindrance. Always thinking you're one step ahead when you're
And
consistently-
Sammy's ego is the reason why now Spears gets hit with a chair out of nowhere. There's Guevara. He's going to sit down and just called him a bitch and told him, hey, it's far, far from over. Also tonight, yeah, Inner Circle and the Pinnacle, that 6-man tag, Hager, Stone Ortiz, Wardlow and FTR as mentioned. However, up next, Shivani is going to interview Kenny Omega, I would assume, in the ring. We'll see if the Dark Order or Hangman, Adam Page by any means, comes out. I would assume if anyone, it's going to be a member of the Dark Order. You know, whether that's Evil Uno or 10 or John Silver or Stu Grayson. Who the hell knows? Maybe the whole entire Dark Order. You know, they've really not gone downhill, but they've been treading lightly since Brody passed. But there was a point in time earlier this year, okay, either Hangman or Matt Hardy was going to become the new leader, it seemed like, and Hangman defeated Hardy at Revolution in that money match they had. Hangman's been in that spot since, and as they teased it last week, the Dark Order is positioning Hangman Adam Page as the new #1 contender for Kenny Omega's AEW World Heavyweight Championship. And if in fact they do have that match, hopefully it'll be at All Out. I would assume it'll be at All Out. And then, you know, maybe at that point in time it would be the right time to take the title off of Omega. At that point in time too, he would have, you know, held it for almost a year after winning it just a few weeks before Christmas on the December the 2nd Winter is Coming episode, defeating Jon Moxley the same night Sting debuted. That same Wednesday, the Steelers hosted the Ravens because of the Thanksgiving delay, if you all might recall. But then at that point, you know, okay, what does Omega go do? Who challenges Hangman? I'm sure they'll figure it all out in the meantime, you know, because one time's right, time's right. And I've said since day one of AEW, Hangman Adam Page is future champion. Hell, he was in the first ever AEW World Heavyweight Championship match against Jericho at All Out a few years ago. And that was a year after All In, of course, and the second ever big pay-per-view event for All Elite Wrestling back in the summer of 2019. However, Jericho became the first champion. Dropped it to Moxley at Revolution. Moxley held it from Revolution just a few weeks pre-pandemic. And then, you know, maybe Moxley will try to get it back because he never really had the title with fans. He had it from Elite Day 2020, just a few weeks prior to the pandemic beginning. And then, actually that same day, that's when the U.S. had its first COVID positive, or first COVID death. As I attended a wrestling event that day as well. Videos from that right here on the channel, so be sure to go check them out. And then attended a few more shortly then after, but then, you know, everybody's been locked up, locked down since, and, you know, now we're free to get back out to do stuff. But then Moxley dropped it to Omega that Wednesday night, Winter is Coming, December the 2nd, when Sting debuted, and then, of course, dropped it to... he dropped it that night, and Omega's been champ ever since. So, back from commercial break now. Shivani is, in fact, in the ring. And here comes Kenny, the can man, the cleaner himself, Omega, for an interview with Tony Schiavone. He is the world champion. We'll see what kind of reaction Omega gets. And Don Callis is going to be by his side. So as they leave Jacksonville for the first time, I'm sure they're going to be in for a rude awakening on some things too. As I've said, WWE is going to be in for a very rude awakening on a lot of stuff here once they hit the road. And Kenny's still got the same look as he had last week. He's got the ace of spades by his side and Callis. He's got what are those? Zebra print pants on. Yeah, Kenny could go as either Lemmy or Triple H from Evolution for Halloween this year if you want to. So they're going to have an interview with Omega right now, and then up next, a sit-down interview with Darby Allin and All Ego Ethan Page, which I'm sure that was probably pre-taped earlier. That'll be a backstage segment of some sorts. We'll see if we hear from Miro by any means, or Britt Baker, the TNT champ, and the AEW Women's champ as well. So Callis takes the mic out of Shivani's hand. Callis now in 100% with AEW, no longer with TNA. And Callis going to take over this interview as Omega's got a V-neck black t-shirt on. He's got, those look like zebra print pants. And then he's got a pair of rattlesnake boots on. He's changing up his beard look, which I can understand if you want to. You got fired, chance to Callis. He got fired by TNA. Real men don't quit, they get fired. So he takes a shot right back at the crowd to shut them the hell up. He knows what he's doing. Kenny Omega is the god of pro wrestling now. All right. Kenny Omega is the greatest wrestler in the history of the world. I wouldn't necessarily say that. I would say, once again, him and Styles are probably still the two best wrestlers right now across the world. But greatest of all time? I don't know about that. Us fans were in the presence of greatness with Kenny Omega giving us the, as Tony Schiavone even called it last week on Dynamite. I was surprised they let him say with what he said with what I'm about to say. Along with the Young Bucks with their porn stashes, they all look like porn stars from the 1970s. And now the crowd's starting to chant cowboy shit for Hangman Adam Page. Damn fly. Damn thing must have just got in here. I think it was in here last night too. Here it is. I'll get it later. We want Hangman chants. This is what we want. We want the crowd to be, hot as hell, chants out the ass. I don't care what they're saying. And join Dark Order. Here comes the Dark Order. Well, says Evil Uno. And yeah, they're positioning Hangman to go up against Omega with Dark Order doing the dirty work for the time being to get him over. Ooh, Don Callis Evil Uno, just called Don Callis Kenny Omega's Uncle Tom, which I don't know how that's gonna sit well with people by any means, but Evil Uno wants to know why Omega's ignoring the crowd, ignoring the number one contender. And why are you so afraid of my friend? And of course that's Hangman, but unless Brody's not dead and Brody Lee comes back tonight, I'll shit myself, which I don't think that's happening. But more, even louder cowboy shit chants now from the crowd. And if Hangman's going to be this over from now until All Out, no brainer, he defeats Omega at All Out and becomes AEW World Champion. He'd become, what, the 4th ever champion for the world title in AEW history? Omega's going to ask Evil Uno the Dark Order question now. What's the capital of Thailand? Does anybody know? Let me know in the comments. We're playing trivia now. And then a low blow from Omega to Evil Uno, as the rest of the Dark Order now comes to the ring. But we got the Good Brothers, Too Sweet Me, Gallows, and Anderson, along with Michael Nakazawa attacking them from behind. So Omega and company still standing tall. Maybe Hangman does come out here and they have a face-to-face of some sorts. Gallows has got a 69 number baseball jersey on. And now here comes Hangman Adam Page. And Omega with the perfect shot for the TV. Hangman going right after Nakazawa in complete shock, holding that title up. And now Hangman going after Gallows and Anderson. Big boot. Clothesline misses. Sends Carl Anderson ringside. Gallows going to go ringside as well. Both him and Hangman go. And then Hangman on the apron. Was about to take out Omega, but now they are standing face to face in the middle of the ring as the big dog joins us to somebody. And for the NWO, for Gallows and Anderson with Omega, this goes back to the Elite though as well with Omega and Hangman before he got kicked out. So Too Sweet Me for that as well. But as Omega and his posse escape, Hangman and Page going to stand tall as he has solidified himself as the next challenger for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Now the sit-down interview with JR Jim Ross interviewing Darby Allin and Ethan Page, as Ethan Page came into the company a few months ago back at Revolution. He's aligned himself with Scorpio Sky. Darby, of course, is still with Sting, but we'll see how much longer that lasts. And with that being said, I mean, both of these tag teams, just not Sting and Darby, but as much as Sting is getting over Darby, Darby's putting over Sting even more because, Sting's barely wrestled. It's interview all the time. But then, who turns on who first with Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, as we got the Karate Man and AEW's Jeff Hardy sitting down with an interview with JR right now. So they're supposed to have a coffin match tonight, which, is a casket match. But, and of course, it makes sense to the story with, the coffin drop as Darby's finisher. But that was called off in a promo last week. Of course, the interview tonight, they'll probably have it next week or the week after that during Fyter Fest. And, if they wait any longer and keep dragging this out, of course they'll get it done, but I don't know how much at that point in time it'll mean, if anything. I'm sure it'll be a good match and Darby will end up winning because it's a coffin match, but, who knows.
Those checks you cash, that's some things you learn from sharing the ring with somebody with 12 years of experience at the time.
You know how much it drives me insane, Jim? The fact
kid like this paint his face up to hide the shame from the fact of knowing that without me, you'd be nothing in professional wrestling, Darby. I brought you in.
Ethan Page telling Darby Allin he brought him into the business, and without him, he wouldn't be anything. I don't know about that, but it means maybe. But Darby's so over with the crowd. It's ridiculous. Okay, they're going to have the coffin match next week during night one of Fyter Fest. It'll be Darby and Ethan, Allin and Page. Night one of AEW Fyter Fest. Coffin match. However, up next, here comes the Pinnacle, and we'll have a 6-man tag with Wardlow and FTR, as Tully Blanchard going to lead into the ring. There's Dax and Cash, and Wardlow going to enter last, and they'll take on the Inner Circle with Jake Hager, of course, from the news. Jack Swagger. Draw a blank there for a quick second. They had Wardlow and him had a cage fight a few weeks ago, which that kicked off the show. It was an alright match. It wasn't anything spectacular. But they're going to continue this Inner Circle Pinnacle feud in the meantime. That's all that they're doing. As Proud and Powerful, LAX, you got Conan leading the Inner Circle down to the ring with Santana Ortiz and Jake Hager there. So 6-man tag going to be the next matchup of the evening. We'll still get the face-to-face with Jericho and Maxwell Jacob Friedman later on. And then we already saw Spears and Guevara backstage. So all the Inner Circle, all the Pinnacle being featured tonight on AEW. Bell rings, match underway, and here we go. Dax Harwood, Cash Wheeler, FTR now in AEW for the past year. Dax taking on Santana. Ortiz in the U.S. bandana, standing in the corner with Hager. As they're in their respective corner, and then of course Pinnacle in the other. Aubrey Edwards, your official referee. Conan and ringside. And the entrance ramp is level with the ring too, I might add. Suplex from, we'll say Inner Circle and Pinnacle. So Inner Circle with the Pinnacle, or Inner Circle with a suplex to the Pinnacle, excuse me. Nice uppercut in the corner, tag made. And off the ropes they go. A kick and then a moonsault off the back. Nice teamwork there. Cover 1, 2, kick out. Chop to the chest. Tag made. Here comes Cash Wheeler. Nice big power slam there. Cover, kick out at 1. Upcut into the corner. Tag made. Here comes Wardlow. They're in some black and green attire. And then the Inner Circle, of course, in their Inner Circle attire. Two on the pin. Kick out. Another tag made in the corner. Here comes Dax. He's the bald one of FTR. Cash has hair. That's how you tell them apart. Powerbomb now. Powerbomb connects and then into the ropes. Tag made. Aubrey didn't see it though, but here comes Jake Hager. She's going to allow it. Any other ref would say, hey, get back probably. But, you know, at the same time, she's got an earpiece. They probably told her to let it go. But Hager running her off shop now, big clotheslines, sending FTR ringside as they'll take commercial break. It'll be picture in picture though, so we'll stay with it. Hashtag AEW Dynamite. We're live on TNT with Road Rager. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. Thumbs up button. Share using the hashtags AEW Dynamite, and Road Rager as well. Chat questions and comments, super chat, super stickers, always greatly appreciated. I assume when we come back from this split screen commercial, if not sooner, during the split screen commercial, it's going to be Hager and Wardlow going at one another, giving the big men their time for the first time against one another in this six-man tag matchup. Still to come, though, they advertise the rest of the card with that face-to-face with Jericho and MJF. That might happen right after this, honestly. Might be the main event if the tag team title street fight match isn't. So we'll see here. But Andrade and Seidel, along with a mixed tag match, still to come too. So on paper, pretty damn good card. And like I said earlier, though, just have a feeling, you know, once all said and done, just for some reason, it'll probably end up just being, you know, an average show to say the least. You know, they very well could have a surprise or two, and you know, if that lights out thing continues and they have a big surprise at the end, okay, so be it, and that puts it over. But you know, send the crowd home happy. But that hasn't happened since the first few minutes of the night during that strap match with Cody and QT. So you know, I did hear JR say weather was an issue, of course, down there because of the storm, but they're, you know, far from it now because it's going up the coast, so that shouldn't be, you know, a factor by any means, but you never know though too, who knows. Animal Kingdom returns on Sunday for season 5. Just started watching that. Very, very good show, I thought. I'll continue to watch it once it returns. Will be on Sunday at 9. Okay, I was wrong. We're back from the commercial break, and we got Santana and Cash, if I'm not mistaken, Legal in this six-man tag. AEW, of course, giving us some AEW Dark and AEW Dark Elevation results from the other nights on their YouTube channel. And thank you for tuning in live right here on YouTube to this channel and watching my live watch-along reactions. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already.
The reason I said that, I mean, you go into that corner, you basically are like a 3-on-1. Yeah, right.
Hager into the corner with Cash, and then a boot, and then a dive of some sorts with Hager. Now I'm going to power slam Cash. Pin 1, 2, as Wardlow breaks it up. So Ortiz and Cash Wheeler are your legal competitors. Another tag made. Here comes Dax. I don't know if Ortiz knows it. Big right hand. And another power bomb. Cover, no. Nice suplex. And then the suplex into a quick roll-up cover. 1, 2, and a kick out.
FTR likes to claim they have so much in common with Santana and Ortiz, but frankly, I don't see much of it beyond their shared passion for tag team wrestling. Ortiz could not be more different, but Ortiz counters with the brainbuster.
Tag made. Here comes Jake Hager. Big clothesline to Dax. Taking out Cash into the corner. Wardlow staying out of the way, but as Cash gets his feet up, ankle locks in. But Dax from behind Surprised he didn't give him a chop block, but he takes him out from behind. Clothesline misses. Dax takes out half of Santana and Ortiz ringside, and then a half-ass boot from Hager in the middle of the ring to take out Dax. And now, here we go. Hager telling Wardlow, come and get it. You want some, come get some. They can see each other, though, in the middle of the ring. That's for damn sure. So Wardlow misses with a clothesline. Hager now with 3 punches. Wardlow with 3 punches of his own as well. Now back and forth. Boo, yay. Haymakers with Hager and Wardlow. Quick roll up now. And now the ankle locks in once more. And then Dax and Cash with that, what they call that in WWE, and what are they calling it now? That code breaker of some sorts, what the hell that is. And then Wardlow cover on Hager, 1, 2, 3. So the Pinnacle win the 6-man tag. Wardlow and FTR defeat Hager and Santana Ortiz as Wardlow pinned Jake Hager. So maybe that's a sign they're going to end up pushing Wardlow at some point in time, because up until they form the Pinnacle, and still even after they form the Pinnacle, for God's sakes, I mean, you have your one-on-ones with Jericho and MJF, Spears and Guevara, the tag teams with Santana Ortiz and FTR, and then your big man with Wardlow and Hager. But Wardlow's just been MJF's bodyguard for as long as he's been in the company. Conan was going to attack Wardlow. Tully attacks him then from behind. So the Pinnacle stand tall with the win in the 6-man tag against the Inner Circle. As mentioned, Wardlow pinning Hager. So we'll see the do with Jake Hager. I mean, he's just been floating around there too. But same point in time, you have 2 5-man factions going at it with one another. So as long as they're going to continue this, this is just going to how it's going to play out. And, you know, in the story, plain and simple. Nothing really you can do about it. So the Good Brothers saying John Moxley's a big, big problem. And Carl Anderson wants back. They just showed AJ Styles on Dynamite. Of course, it was a highlight along with Nakamura, for God's sakes. But this is, you know, images and videos from when the Bullet Club was in New Japan altogether. So to me, with Moxley, yes, as your current IWGP United States champion, Carl Anderson wants that title back. And he just challenged him to a match for that championship at Fyter Fest. I didn't catch which night, but it's going to be either next week or the week after. So they just did the... And here comes MJF. So this face-to-face is next after the 6-man tag. Remember what the club was Styles, the Gals and Anderson, when they were in WWE together, when they first came in back in 2016, they're shut up John Cena, or whatever the phrase was. They just did that, whatever John Moxley, whether it's shut up or I can't recall, but they just did that. But I mean, not shocking at all they showed Styles and Nakamura on Dynamite tonight, because they're in the, you know, video highlights. They're in the reel. So, I mean, what do you expect? But Carl Anderson has challenged Moxley to a IWGP United States Championship match. And that's going to take place at AEW Fyter Fest within the next 2 weeks. So that should be, you know, interesting, to say the least, on what happens there. If at some point in time there's going to be, whether you want to call it an invasion or not, with TNA or New Japan into AEW, with the relationships, of course, AEW has, knocking down that forbidden door, as Tony Khan is not a con man. He doesn't work in Connecticut, but he does run AEW, and he's been doing a pretty damn good job, to say the least, as well. But, you know, um, we'll see what happens. I doubt we'll get a response from Moxley tonight. He's still, of course, taking some time off. But, as I mentioned earlier, maybe he is the one behind with the lights going out earlier. That, with the street fight, probably going to be the main event for the tag team titles. You have the Young Bucks. You're going to have Gallows and Anderson out there. Maybe Omega too. Probably not, though, as they already went through with him and Hangman earlier. As Omega's been doing his own thing as world champion, but every once in a while still in there with Young Bucks. So, yeah, too sweet me, but Hangman no longer part of the elite, so he'll be facing Omega at some point in time, it seems like now, for that title. But it's a street fight, so anything can happen. Young Bucks, Penta, and Eddie Kingston. And with Kingston in the match, well, Moxley and Kingston were tag team partners in a world title match at Double or Nothing against, well, you guessed it, Young Bucks, before the Bucks retained. I'm sure, though, as Omega still had the same facial hair after changing up last week, having the same night, they'll have the stashes as well. But we're back from commercial break now. MJF's in the ring, so let's all sing along to Judas with Le Champion, Chris Jericho now. And then we'll get back to the street fight with Moxley potentially interfering. Got some pyro for the demo god. There's Brock Lesnar guy front row. So face-to-face, and as MJF gets on the mic to say something, Jericho, and they panned the crowd, so I think a fan just attacked. And MJF on the mic doing what he does best, telling whoever the hell just jumped the barricade into the ring, just called him a fat white-ass hick. And this is a face-to-face standoff. But seems to me it's a contract signing because they got a table set up in the middle of the ring. It's sad. So why the hell not have, somebody try to attack on the first night back? Yeah, some asshole just jumped the barricade and tried to attack MJF and Jericho in the ring. So they panned away before, of course, they sang twice to Judas. And Jericho saying he should have let the fat bastard come in and beat up MJF. And that gets a big pop.
But you know me, MJF.
I'm Chris Jericho.
I'm not gonna back down from you.
I'm not going to back down from any fight. I'm sure they're going to have a fight at Fighter Fest or Fight the Fall in the next couple weeks.
I'll go swimming in a lake infested with piranhas. Hell, I'll even have sex with your mother.
Jericho's saying he'd do MJF's mom. He'd do anything to have another match with Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Max's mom chance. That'll be on a t-shirt.
You're not rattling me, Chris. I'm gonna sit right back down. Because that's what these people want. And I don't give a crap what they want.
MJF does not care what the fans want.
It's a shame we got to this point, Chris, because I used to look up to you, man. I used to look up to you. Matter of fact, I followed every single step of your career.
Who's your daddy, Chance? Oh my. And Jericho points to himself and then gives us a shrug.
My favorite parts of your
Oh god, this is funny.
when you were at odds with John Moxley. Oh yeah, do you guys remember that rivalry? John Moxley and
And MJF brings up Mox tonight.
Christopher, do you remember what you put John through in order to get a match with you?
What did Jericho put him through?
Single person in the inner circle. And my God, was that heartless, but oh so inspired. So you know what, Chris? Karma sucks, doesn't it?
Karma's a bitch.
To take your blueprint and do what I do best. And that's make it better.
Make it better. Make the blueprint better.
You know, I grew up loving Greek mythology, Chris. Which is
Greek mythology. I don't know a damn thing about it, but MJF loves it.
from demigod being demogod, which is a little bit odd considering you're definitely no longer in the key demo, but he's still Chris Jericho, guys. Come on.
Jericho's still Jericho, but, you know, he's not the demigod now anymore, according to MJF.
Was the labors of Hercules, and you're gonna have 5 labors, Chris. The first 4 will be opponents of my choosing.
MJF's going to choose 4 different opponents for Jericho, and then he'll get MJF.
Back to back to back.
Back to back to back to back.
And the 5th stipulation.
And then the 5th's going to beat
To get through the first
up
4, which
against
you
me.
won't. You get that MJF rub one more time. You get an opportunity to wrestle.
So Jericho's going to have to face off
Beat you.
against FTR, Dax and Cash, Spears, and Wardlow. He's going to have to face the whole entire Pinnacle until he gets MJF.
So what do you say, Hercules? You gonna sign on the dotted line or what?
So Jericho, there is a paper out there for him to sign.
I'll say this, Max. If I can't outlast your labors in Jericho, and if I can't beat you, maybe I don't deserve to be in AEW anymore anyways.
Jericho's saying, hey, if I can't beat you, maybe I shouldn't be in AEW anymore anyways. Fozzy is going on tour, so just keep that in mind. So he might go off TV for a little while. Jericho's the God of War. He's going to beat MJF. He's going to beat the whole entire Pinnacle and then MJF. And then that 5th match will probably be at All Out, I bet. Jericho going to sign on the dotted line. Throws the clipboard at MJF, and then, oh, hold on. This ain't over just yet.
See, I don't come from a dumpster fire like Miami, Florida.
Dumpster fire in Miami, Florida. The Dolphins do suck.
In the world, Plainview, Long Island, New York, and in Plainview, Long Island, New York, a deal is not done until both parties shake hands.
A deal is not done until both parties shake hands. Shake my hand, damn it, or the deal is off. So Jericho shakes hands with MJF. Jericho doesn't let go, though. Pulls in, gives him a Judas effect in the middle of the ring, and MJF's out cold. Jericho's music hits, and that'll do it for this face-to-face standoff. That was pretty damn good. Minus the jerk-off that jumped the ring. So up next, it'll be Andrade and Evan Bourne, Andrade El Idolo, and Matt Sydal in singles competition here at the 9 o'clock hour for AEW Dynamite, a Road Rager edition, as we hit another commercial break here. The NHL Stanley Cup Playoffs, Game 5 also this evening, with the Lightning hosting the Montreal Canadiens. So we'll check in with that here in a little bit. But AEW Dynamite with the first hour or so of Road Rager now in the books. Pretty good show so far. Still be interesting to see what happens in the main event. If we do hear from Moxley or not. But it's all tied together. It all makes sense. That's what makes a good story. And, as mentioned, it goes back to New Japan with the Elite. Of course, Moxley and Gallows and Anderson worked together in WWE as well. Now they're all in AEW. Moxley's your IWGP US champ, and Carl Anderson wants that title at Fyter Fest. He wants a match for that championship, I should say, at Fyter Fest. And will he win it or not? We'll see. But Moxley's been out of action due to a new baby just recently, about a month or so ago now. So congrats to John and Renee. But, like I said, it all ties together. It all makes sense. Especially with Kingston in the tag team title streak fight match up against the Young Bucks teaming with Penta. So, say if something happens to Penta, well, then Kingston's going to need a tag team partner. And voila, it's John Moxley for you. And then maybe they win the titles. As far as we know, I don't know. And then whether or not Carl Anderson gets that US for IWGP back, the United States Championship there. And then both him and Gallows, because I know they want to go back over to New Japan, and with stuff opening back up, with them probably going to be able to travel back over to the Land of the Rising Sun. It ties it all together with New Japan, AEW, even Impact as well. I mean, that's sort of died down as of late, but Andrade's debut match in AEW coming up next against Matt Sydal in about a month or so from now. Omega is going to defend the AAA title against Andrade El Idolo on August the 14th. That'll be the night after Rampage debuts. So that week will be, fun-filled. And then we'll have SummerSlam the week after, of course, with Dynamite, Rampage debuting, and then that championship match, and then SummerSlam and TakeOver, and then All Out's Labor Day. So before we know it, summer's going to be over. We're going to get through all these wrestling events. And then it's football season. And now ringside, we got some fans. Oh, there's Jorge Masvidal and Amanda Nunes. They are front row for AEW Dynamite. All right. I didn't really recognize them there at first, as they were and still are showing a recap from last week with Nyla Rose putting Britt Baker through a table ringside. A Dr. DMD herself. As mentioned, we'll see if we get a backstage segment with her. Probably an interview. I don't know. Yeah, here we go. Shivani's backstage interviewing Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Punk's Tawny's own, a graduate of Penn State and Pitt, is a licensed dentist and is the current AEW Women's World Heavyweight Champion of the world. Reba, Rebel, ringside, or right next to her, on her crotch. Poor Reba, her assistant.
I don't mean it anyway. This is basically all natural. Was forced to enter the ring in unsafe working conditions, and look what happened. An innocent person was hurt, and you, Tony Khan, should feel terrible.
And Britt Baker telling Tony Khan he should feel terrible with what happened last week.
Andrade El Idolo. So, enjoy your blood money.
Enjoy your blood money, says Britt Baker.
They can run in Saudi Arabia.
And then also name drops Saudi Arabia.
What's your type of softening?
So more shots to the WWE.
The only thing soft around here is you, the former women's world champion, and you are never getting this title
And Britt
back.
Baker calling Nyla Rose soft.
Fighter Fest Night 2.
Fighter Fest Night 2.
To the back of the line, I'm sending you back to obscurity. And I looked up Dallas. You know they call it the Big D?
The Big D, Dallas, Texas.
I don't know about that. All
I don't know about that, and then she glances down. All right.
women's world
She knows how to cut a damn good promo.
They're gonna
She
call
does.
Dallas the Big D.
The Big DMD. About damn time they put the title on Britt Baker and actually doing something on with her. She's the best women's wrestler, best women's promo in the whole entire company of AEW. Here comes Matt Sydal. That was one of her better promos. It was. But all her other ones are still fire too. So shout out to Adam Cole, baby. Now here comes Andrade, who at an NXT Live event, I saw Andrade, speaking of Adam Cole and Roderick Strong of Dynamite, as Andrade is wearing a mask. Is that him in a suit and tie? That is in fact him. Vicky Guerrero by his side and some other guy. But Andrade not going to take his suit off. Seems like it's just a front suit. And whether he wrestles in this mask or not, I don't know. We'll see. But no, he's going to take the mask off. He still looks the same. Shout out to Charlotte. He gets some pyro. But Andrade defended the NXT Championship in a full match video right here on the channel, so be sure to go check it out. Against Adam Cole and Roderick Strong in the main event of that NXT Live event I attended. So it's funny how, you know, some things come full circle or how you can connect some stuff. But Andrade El Idolo going to make his AEW debut, and he's wearing gloves. He's got pants on compared to his trunks, but does he pull an Angel Garza and rip those off? No. Bell rings. Match underway. And Bryce Remsburg, not in a hazmat suit tonight, your referee. And it's Andrade and Sydal in singles competition here on hashtag AEW Dynamite when you share on social media. So Andrade, I mean, he looks the same, but he's changed up his in-ring look for what he's wearing a little bit. Comes out in a suit and tie. He keeps the pants on. He's got, looks like he can play for the Yankees tonight if he wanted to. He's got pinstripes on. Quick roll up for Sydal, cover 1-2 and a kick out. Andrade with a kick. So more AEW Dark or AEW Dark Elevation results now on the bottom of the screen. As Andrade going to get up top. He's going to go for a moonsault, it looks like. Here comes Matt Sydal, though, from behind. And Sydal moves out of the way, but Andrade sticks it and then hits the moonsault. And then a kick out of it, too. That was a pretty good move. El Idolo chance. Sydal with a corkscrew moonsault as well. Some kicks now. And now a quick roll up cover 1-2. All right, they're going back and forth with one another here. Working the left leg now is Matt Sydal to Andrade. Nice Pele there from Matt Sydal, who hopefully doesn't slip here off the top rope like he did in his AEW debut at Double or Nothing last year. Andrade going to shove him off. So he does not slip and fall. He gets pushed off, but they're going to hit a commercial break, a split screen commercial this is. So we'll have this match continue. We'll still have the mixed tag match as well with Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander taking on the Blade and the Bunny. So that should be pretty interesting to say the least. But then, other than that, it's the street fight for the AEW World Tag Team titles, as it'll be the Young Bucks defending against Penta, El Zero Miedo, and Eddie Kingston. And then we'll hit Austin and Dallas, Texas for the next 2 weeks of AEW Fyter Fest. So hopefully you'll tune in for live reactions play of both of those shows as well, as the schedule goes as follows. Next Wednesday, July the 14th, live right here on YouTube, live watch long reactions of night 1 of AEW Fyter Fest. A week from Friday, 2 nights after that, we'll have WWE Friday Night SmackDown. That's July the 16th. That Sunday, WWE Money in the Bank. And then the following night, WWE Monday Night Raw. And then the 21st and 28th of July as well, night 2 of Fyter Fest and AEW, and then AEW the following week. Myself, your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cool on Loop 96, as well as mentioned last night and earlier night as well, will in fact be attending a few events coming up within the next month too. So keep an eye out for videos from those, as we'll have actually technically 2 or 3 TVs and a house show. So yeah, should be pretty exciting to say the least, with getting back out there to actually being able to attend a wrestling event for the first time in at least a year and a half. So yeah, as mentioned, just keep an eye out for those videos, and thank you once more for tuning in tonight. But hopefully we'll tune in as well next week for Fyter Fest, SmackDown, Money in the Bank, and Monday Night Raw, and then Fyter Fest again and Fallen. So split screen commercial here, AEW Dynamite with Andrade and Matt Sydal. Back from split screen commercial, Andrade with the Cougar, Vicky Guerrero ringside, working Matt Sydal. Jim Ross already messing up Andrade El Idolo's name. Hell, he can't even get the company's name right. He called it WWE Dynamite last week by mistake. I get it. Everybody messing up every once in a while. It's not that big of a deal. Hell, he calls Jungle Boy 10,000 different names, so maybe Andrade is next in line to be called a few different names as well. Fyter Fest next week and the following week, and then Fight for the Fallen. And then they'll have a homecoming in Jacksonville, and then Dynamite and Rampage will be 2 nights a week. And I would assume here before too long they're going to start actually advertising AEW Rampage on TV during Dynamite. I would hope so, at least. Other than just the quick vignette video package that they've been running for it. Because at first I actually thought it was something for the new upcoming AEW video game, but AEW Rampage, we knew they were getting a second show, we just didn't know when. And then come January 2022, both Dynamite and Rampage will move from TNT to TBS. Off the top rope now, Andrade going to go for a stomp right to the chest of Matt Sydal. We've seen this numerous times with both of these two. Not against each other, but they both do that same maneuver. And then a double knee off the top rope from Sydal to Andrade. Cover 1, 2, and a kick out. Andrade reverses, throws Sydal into the turnbuckles. Gonna start slapping his thighs. Goes from corner to corner with that running knee. Andrade could be an option for the AEW World title or even Miro's TNT title at some point in time, maybe. You know, if they don't want to push him the whole way to the top. I mean, just think though, cover 1, 2, 3 Andrade pins and defeats Matt Sydal tonight on Dynamite, this Road Rager edition. Say Hangman does defeat Omega and Omega drops the title. And then in the meantime, Miro drops the TNT title. Well, Miro's still going to be a heel. Maybe he goes up against Hangman then for the world title. And Andrade becomes TNT champion in the meantime. And then they just continue the trend. Or you might have every once in a while somebody jump the line or get not sent back, but storyline wise just moved around depending on what else is going on, of course, to have it all make sense. But maybe Andrade is going to be a top guy on Rampage if, you know, say they would add a specific title for that, you know? So we'll see what happens with that show, of course, but Andrade picks up the win against Matt Sydal, and that guy that came out with him and Vicky seems to be, you know, some type of maybe his butler, as Miro had one with Trent and Chuck T, of course, and now Cameron Grimes has to be LA Knights. But the truth is the truth. We got a Christian Cage, Matt Hardy video package. And then Jungle Boy, of course, won the Battle Royal at Double or Nothing. So Christian Cage and Matt Hardy, they're currently in a feud right now. Of course, it goes back to Edge and Christian and the Hardy Boys and their ladder matches. And then I believe they fought off against one another in TNA as well for a short time. But Matt Hardy saying next week during Night 1 of Fyter Fest, it will in fact be Matt Hardy himself of the Hardy Family Office taking on Christian Cage. And now here we go for Fyter Fest Night 1 next week. Matt Hardy and Christian Cage as they show us the picture for that. Alright. Now Shivani's in the ring with Arn Anderson, who's back out there. Alright, what's he got to say? Maybe introduce his son, who wrestled a few weeks ago. Good God Almighty, is it good to be back with live fans on the road. You're damn right it is. Arn Anderson saying we've missed all you. Let's get right to it. The lights have gone out again. Alright, so what does this mean? It has something to do with the Nightmare family. It has to do with somebody challenging Cody. Maybe they're attacking Arn right now, and the lights are going to come back on, and they're going to be in the ring. The lights are still out. Holy fuck. It is Aleister Black, Tommy End. Holy shit. And Cody's in the ring. Malachi Blacks, if you will. Go watch his video on Instagram if you haven't done so already. He is staring down Cody Rhodes in the middle of the ring. Let's go. He just gave a black mass to Arn Anderson and Cody Rhodes tonight on Dynamite. Alistair's got some... He looks like Johnny Cash. He's in all black. He's got some work done to his eye, makeup-wise, to make it look like he still has an eye injury. And the crowd has erupted in holy shit chants as now we know what those two lights out segments meant. And Aleister Black, Tommy End Malachi Blacks, whatever the hell he's going to go by. Whether it be Tommy End or Malachi Blacks, he's not going back to WWE, that's for damn sure. Even though Zelina just returned. He can't use Aleister Black. And they do call him Malachi Blacks on Dynamite. He's now all in with All Elite Wrestling. Holy shit. Holy shit. I mean, it was, thought, okay, maybe he would go to the AEW. Maybe he goes back to WWE. They fired his ass, though. They dropped the ball with him. I said, okay, if he goes back, he goes back, but I hope to God he doesn't, because they're just going to continue to drop the ball with him. And just at some point in time, okay, he'll end up elsewhere. But the thing is, unless he got out of his, what do they call it, no compete clause, which he had to have in order to do this tonight, unless he's still in his no non-compete clause, and they're not going to have him wrestle until right after, of course, it ends, and that'll be at All Out. It'll be Aleister, Tommy, Malachi Blacks. He's going to go by Malachi Blacks. As mentioned, go watch his Instagram video if you haven't done so already. It was damn good. Should be his last post unless he's posted something, in the past few minutes. Man, I don't even know what the hell to think. But, yeah, that clause would end just right before All Out. So he would wrestle, and he's going to be in a feud with Cody Rhodes now. And, I mean, they played their cards to the T on that. Played them right. Hey, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them sometimes on what you're going to do. And, I mean, they hit the nail right on the coffin. We got a coffin match next week, too. So, like, as much as I want Hangman to beat Omega and become AEW World Champion, I mean, I hope they push Malachi, formerly known as Aleister Black and Tommy End, to the moon, as Cameron Grimes would say. Because, hell, he's a former NXT champion. He's a star in the making. But they just, really didn't know what to do with him up on the main roster. They didn't. Once again, dropping the ball. And, I mean, he has to be smiling. He has to be loving this right now with what just happened. I'm sure once we get back from this commercial break, they're going to show a replay of what did just, in fact, happen to, clue everybody in with Malachi Blacks with an S. So he's still going to have the same last name, but different first name. And Zelina just went back to WWE, and now he's in AEW. Now, if in fact he does wrestle before Labor Day, we'd know for sure, okay, he got out of his non-compete clause. But whenever... Yeah, nobody expected actually this to happen tonight. Maybe, but, hey, that's what surprises are supposed to, mean. They're supposed to surprise you. So, the lights went out again and came back on, and he's standing in the corner. He hits a black mass, or whatever the hell he's going to call it now, on Arn Anderson. And then Cody comes out, hits one on him too, puts him in his place. Crowd went absolutely ape shit, as did I, and rightfully so. And I guess during the break, Ricky Starks came out as he's sort of distancing himself now from Team Taz. And I really don't get him yet. I don't. But then Hobbs and Hook came out. And then Brian Cage is still FTW champion for some unknown reason. He hasn't defended that title since last year at Fire Fest, for God's sakes. Worthless piece of shit. And then ECW chants for Taz when he came out. So, yeah. Starks and Cage for the FTW title. And why not put it on Starks? Give him something to run with. You know, because Cage isn't doing anything, for God's sakes. He's worse than Wardlow. And Wardlow hasn't done shit. So, like... And the W stands for wife, and hey, Brian, I'm talking about your wife, so you can put the F and the T all together, and, you know, Ricky Starks, just as Jericho told MJF he'd put it to his mom, well, Starks going to put it to Brian Cage's wife, so. Dynamite's been damn good, and that just with Alistair, Tommy End, Malachi Black's debuting in AEW, just put it over the top. And now we got a mixed tag match plus the main event, which is a championship street fight for the tag team titles, I might add. So, still gathering some thoughts for Alistair, Tommy, Malachi. We're going to call him Malachi Blacks because that's what he's going by. He's formerly known as Alistair Black, and now we all know why he put that video out today. Did we think it'd happen tonight or next week or within the next month? No. And who knows when the next time we'll see him, if it's just going to be a one-off thing for now and then they bring him back and, you know, he continues to play mind games. Who knows? I'm just happy I'm going to get to see him with AEW next month. You know, that'll be pretty exciting, along with Andrade and Miro, of course, a few other, you know, WWE guys as well, but, like, AEW's done a good job of building their own product, but at the same time, too, they have brought in maybe a few too many, you know, old WWE guys, but if it makes sense and it works out, so be it, you know? I feel like Alistair's going to get the Brody push that once the 9 months is up, of course, Brody didn't get then after that point because he passed away in real life, that Malachi Black's Tommy End, as he changes his name too, okay? Which we all thought it would be Tommy End because with Aubrey Edwards in the meantime taking a pair of brass knuckles away from the Blade. So it'll be Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander taking on the Blade and the Bunny. But freshly squeezed chance now from the crowd. But nonetheless, Orange Cassidy's going to put his hands in his pockets. And then some kicks to the shins. But yeah, they should push Malachi Black's, gonna have to get used to saying that, of course, but the whole way to the top, and don't look back. And just as I said earlier about Andrade potentially being top dog on Rampage, maybe that's for him. So I'll digress for now. I'm gonna sit back, watch this match as it's a mixed tag match, and we got a tag team championship street fight match in the main event, and then I'll do it for the show. And then everybody's still going to be talking about Alistair Black debuting in AEW as Malachi Black's, as he adds the S, and really didn't change up his look a whole lot. He did drop the glasses, but you know, maybe this is the Dark Father character that, you know, we're going to get in WWE with him in a feud with Big E, and then they just fired his ass due to, in quotes, budget cuts. So, like, I mean, sometimes you need stuff to happen to move on to bigger and better things, you know, whether it's greener pastures or not. And, you know, we all know the greener pastures are filled with the bullshit that's right next to it anyway. So, I mean, we'll see what happens, but I just hope AEW, I mean, they're starting him off with Cody, for God's sakes. I mean, you can't get any better than that. And Cody's going to put him over. You know damn well he will. So, I just hope they don't, which I know they won't, because, you know, they're pretty free on allowing whoever to do whatever the hell they want. And if they, like I said, go check out that video from earlier. If he has video packages, vignettes, promos like he's had in his past, I mean, even though he's going to be technically considered an old WWE guy in AEW, you know, his big time in the WWE was in NXT, barely did anything up on the main roster. I mean, he did, but he didn't. Wasn't as good as NXT's days, which I saw him in NXT and up on the main roster, but up close and personal NXT-wise a few times. Videos right here on the channel as well, so be sure to go check those out. But, and we got a split screen now during this mixed tag match. But, anyways, just like, he might be long-term in the end, 5, 10, who knows how long from now. Not necessarily, you know, because he's been referred to as like an up-and-coming, you know, Undertaker, which, you know, he's still going to get that by the means, no doubt about it. But like, he could be their top star that everybody, or the Fiend, something similar to that, or just, you know, that dark side character that, whether you think you get, or whether you do in fact get creeped out by it or not, if it scares you, okay, but like, just make sure you watch something else before you know, go to bed at night. Do what you gotta do, but like, he has everything he needs to be successful in pro wrestling. He has it. And WWE knew that, but they didn't do anything with him. Because you go back to when he was drafted to SmackDown last year during the draft. He was on for a week, and then they kept him off from October until they brought him back, and he was doing those book promos. And, of course, soon to find out, that was, you know, the early phases of this Dark Father character that he's, or was planning on doing, and of course got cut short because he got fired. But maybe, as mentioned, as we see a Rampage video now, AEW Rampage, Friday, August the 13th, so a Friday the 13th for Rampage debut as well. So, you know, who knows what'll happen then if, you know, shit hits the fan and everything goes right or wrong there. But no, sky's the limit for Malachi Black's, formerly known as both Tommy End and Aleister Black. And right now, hate to say it, but it's true, you know damn well it's happening. Triple H is just sitting there shaking his head, cussing out Vince, because Vince, I get he's set in his ways, but he's way past his prime in the booking, with the creative. Hell, Raw last night just dipped to below 1.5 million viewers, when the match last night with Bryson DeChambeau and Aaron Rodgers defeating the reigning champs in Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady, raising 6.5 million meals for charity. So, like, they wonder why nobody watches WWE anymore. Well, Vince needs to look himself in the mirror and say, okay. And whether we all think this shit's going to change when they return to the road or not, we all know damn well it probably won't. It might a little bit, but not much. And I'm not sitting here bashing by any means, but it's the truth. Okay, as Matt Hardy has his shirt, the truth is the truth. You know, to an extent, what I'm saying is true. Everybody has their own opinion, though, so you can let me know in the comments below yours. But, like, Monday Night Raw is so bad. It is absolutely pathetic. And Aleister, hell, he was on SmackDown. And he was going to be in a feud with Big E. And Big E, along with Owens, along with Drew McIntyre as well, very well could win Money in the Bank a week from Sunday. So, we'll see what happens there. And be sure to tune back in for live watch-along reactions of that. But AEW, now with Malachi Black's in the company, as he's all in. He's all elite. Orange Cassidy with DDT, cover 1-2, kick out at 2.5 by the Blade. You know, AEW's that different new breed of old school wrestling that fans absolutely love because, you know, with what WWE's done, still knowing people are going to watch, but they're going to do what they want because they can do what they want because they're a company. Plain and simple, all right? They can run it however they want, but when shit's not working, you think you would change it. But no, they shove the same shit down our throats week in and week out. Even though sometimes stuff does change, like, I don't know, it just blows my mind some of the shit they do. It's absolutely ridiculous. Blade's got those brass knuckles once more. But, and then a Superman orange punch from him to Orange Cassidy. And he's going to give those brass knuckles back to the bunny. Tag made, though. So the women are now legal in this mixed tag match. And there's a pin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can count to 1,000,000, but it's not legal. So now it has to be Chris Statlander and the bunny, and Statlander now from behind. Gonna tombstone. 1, 2, 3 to the bunny, and Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander pick up the win. But yeah, Alistair now in AEW. Was not expecting him by means. I was joking earlier, if you go back and watch, or if you have been watching, that I saw him sitting up top in the nosebleeds. Just because with the rumors of him potentially at some point in time coming to AEW, okay, didn't think it'd be the night by any means. But then that video from earlier that I watched, it's about 5 minutes long, as mentioned, go check it out. It was put together pretty good, and like I said, if he continues to do something like that, if that's going to be his character, this dark father character potentially that we didn't get in WWE, you know, so be it. Whatever. I'm just happy for him, you know, ecstatic that they got a deal done and he's going to be free to do with what he wants to do. So, yeah, we'll see what they have in store moving forward for Alistair. Malachi Black's now. But I mean, I get now too they're adding a second show, but with him coming in, who does it hurt? You know, because you got to look at it that way though too. Not really anybody. Jungle Boy got a trophy earlier for 50 wins. I'm sure there's a few others that have 50 wins as well that didn't get a trophy presentation. But now Tony Schiavone going to interview Jorge Masvidal and Amanda Nunes. But AEW's in South Beach. I mean, this is big publicity for them. Draws eyes to the product. Nobody said anything about doing an interview or endorsing the show, and now they're going to get in the ring. So is somebody going to come out and attack? Are they going to have Masvidal or Nunes feud with somebody in AEW now? UFC, McGregor, Poirier 3s on Saturday. AEW sucks. Says whoever the hell this guy is. he runs the MMA dojo in Miami, I guess. And now he's cutting a damn good promo. Somebody's going to come out and kick his ass, though. Pro wrestling's gone downhill since the late 1990s. He's got a point. AEW's doing it the right way. Luchadors, Japanese strong style, veterans, young guys. Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin. It's AEW's fan base. It's the diehard loyal hardcore fans. It is. AEW, AEW, AEW. Is that Tony Stewart? I don't think so. Sure as hell looked like him. Trust your instincts. And now here comes Lance Archer. Okay, Lance Archer's coming out. And Lance Archer knocks him out. American Top Team. And the blackout big power slam there from Lance Archer as Jake the Snake comes out as well. I wouldn't mind seeing Malachi and Archer together, whether that's a tag team or in singles feud together. Okay, now some Fyter Fest images as we'll have a coffin match with Darby Allin and Ethan Page next week, Matt Hardy and Christian Cage as well. Brian Cage will defend the FTW Championship against Ricky Starks. Probably see a title change there, I bet. Penelope Ford's going to be in action versus Yuka Sakazaki. Hangman Adam Page. We'll hear from Hangman Page next week. And then IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship match. It'll be Jon Moxley defending in the main event against Carl Machine Gun Anderson. However, next in tonight's main event, a AEW World Tag Team Championship street fight with the Young Bucks and Penta El Zero Miedo and Eddie Kingston. Still could see a Jon Moxley return. Main event of the evening with TV time remaining. We've got 21 minutes. They might get an overrun. I doubt it. But he's coming out as the Joker. Kingston by his side. He's apart. And, okay, that's... what's his name? Yeah. Penta and Kingston now in the ring. There's a garbage can as well. It's a street fight, so who knows where this is going to lead. But, what's I going to say? Yeah, what was I going to say now? Shit. Lost my train of thought. Just that... I'll remember here in a second. Give me a minute. Well, during commercial break, I'm sure I'll think of it during that point in time. And then we'll get back into it once the street fight kicks off with the Young Bucks coming out. But we'll go back talking about Alistair. Now in AEW as Malachi Blacks. And, you know, just, of course, as I said, happy for him. I'm sure there's something I said that I don't remember saying now, and I'm sure I'll repeat myself. I'm just still not in complete shock, but um, just hopeful, long story short, that he gets what he deserves. And that's being what they should have done with him in the WWE. But no. Vince McMahon is, you know, once again set in his ways. And his way or the highway, but it's his company and he's been doing it for how long. But at the same time, as what's his name just said in the promo, it's not when he first took over, and it's not the Attitude Era, it's not the late 1990s anymore. It's 2021, for God's sakes. So, I get not as many people watch wrestling as they used to, but one of the main reasons why is look at the product. It's not as good. It is good, but it's not as good. It's stale. You know, like, just go watch CM Punk's Pipe Bomb interview, for God's sake, that promo he got 10 years ago now. That'll tell you everything I'm thinking, along with everybody else that doesn't watch anymore. And whether they don't watch WWE, watch AEW, or if they watch everything like I do, okay, so I don't really care. Just sit down and watch and quit complaining. I get people are gonna bitch because people always have to have something to bitch about, but, like, come on, man. But because in the end, it is what it is. You know, it's out of our control. You know, they're still gonna do what they want anyway, so there's not so much you can do or say. But, yeah. Thought Ray Phoenix was coming out there for a second. Oh, I know what I was going to say now about Penta. He's a part of the Lucha Brothers, of course, but, you know, he's also part of Death Triangle with Pac, another former WWE guy. So, I mean, hell, you look at the roster, I assume half of them are, you know, former WWE people. Whether on-screen, off-screen. I mean, hell, Cody, former WWE guy, founded AEW with the Young Bucks as they make their entrance now, along with Kenny Omega. So, Super Kick Party. Do they still have the porn stashes? That's the real question. No, they've shaved. They have shaved. Omega still had his beard though earlier. Callis coming out. Brandon Cutler doing Sami Zayn's documentary work for him right now. They got jean shorts on, so you can't see me. Dynamite's been, from start to finish, I mean, like I said earlier, I thought it'd be an average show when it's all said and done, but tonight, I mean, it has delivered. It's been a damn good show. It has. Nothing against any of the matches. Been a fun, exciting evening, that's for damn sure. So, and that's back-to-back nights with Great American Bash last night, and then, you know, Road Rager tonight, and then Nakazawa acting as a fan. He gets the Young Bucks bandana front row as the Young Bucks are now going to get the streamers as they do their entrance and pose in the middle of the ring. And Don Callis now going to be on commentary as well. Bell rings, match underway, and Kingston right away with that garbage can going to the town on the Young Bucks as they attack. Can't really tell the Bucks apart now, but Matt and Nick, they retaliate now ringside. They're all fighting ringside with the Bucks along with Penta, Armando, and Eddie Kingston. Now Michael Nakazawa is getting involved as he jumps the barricade just like that fan from earlier. So it is a street fight, yeah. Double super kick to Nakazawa as Kingston and Penta moved out of the way. But yeah, anything goes to street fight. So, like I said, we'll see how far they take it, if they're going to fight just in the ring and ringside, or, up the ramp, backstage, outside. Brandon Cutler now with some of that ice spray to cool you down, being pushed in the corner, but then the Bucks from behind him steal chairs now. So Cutler rolls out of the ring. I think anybody could do what Brandon Cutler's doing with the Young Bucks as the director, producer, filmer, if you will. So, Kingston working, is that Matt or Nick? One's got blonde hair now, well, bleach blonde hair. Double kick to the Young Bucks as they're on the steel chair in the middle of the ring, as that was set up. And now Penta going to go up top, face first to the crotch with the steel chair in the way of the Bucks, or actually a super kick to the gonads. Okay, yeah, Nick, blonde, Matt, the brunette. And of course, they still have the AEW Dynamite and AEW Dark ring aprons ringside attached to the ring, and then we'll see if they keep it like that or change it, because they normally would change it, but so they obviously haven't filmed Dark yet. So Dynamite was going to be the first show back with Live Fest, and rightfully so. Now we got some tables. I Am the Table getting involved. And Kingston's ripping the legs off and ripping the sealer side part of it off. Nick with a reversal to Penta. Kingston working Matt. Off the top rope, going to go for a vertical superplex here. And then a power bomb to the bottom of the table. Jesus Christ. And then a Canadian Destroyer ringside from Penta through the table on Matt Jackson of the Young Bucks. Jesus Christ. Crowd loving it. Now that garbage can getting back involved. Big kick from Nick. Right through the can to Penta. Now we're going to take a split screen commercial break with about 10 minutes left. So come back here in a minute or two and close out the show. Hopefully on a high note. Potentially with, John Moxley returning as well. And then that goes back to the first show, Pandemic. Brody and Hardy both debuted at 9 and 10 o'clock. And then, you have Alistair, now Malachi Black, as Brody was Luke Harper, and then he went back to Brody Lee as he wrestled in the Indies. So we all thought Alistair would do as Tommy M, but he changed his name again, and it's Malachi Black's. And we'll see how long the S stays on, if they're going to just change it to Malachi Black rather than Blacks. But we'll see. And then maybe a Mox return, or maybe something else. I don't know. I mean, the only thing that makes sense would be Moxley, but they've already advertised him to take on Carl Anderson next week, as he'll defend the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship of the World against Machine Gun Carl Anderson during that one Fighter Fest. So if he doesn't come back tonight, okay, so be it, he's already advertised for next week, and his run of being off TV for a little over a month, goes away, and then, maybe they figure out a way to continue to postpone it just to feud the story even more. Fuel it, I should say, not feud. Well, it would fuel the feud in the storyline, so you know what I'm saying. But, just continue to drag it out, but they'll have it. He might drop it, and then he goes away for a little while longer. Maybe he challenges Miro then for the team. I don't know. We'll see. There's plenty of different options they could go with. But with everything they advertised, plus with everything they added in, this is one of AEW's better shows in quite some time. And they've had a few damn good Dynamites and very, very damn good pay-per-views in this pandemic era. But now they're back with live fans. Hell, they've been back with live fans though since August, of last year. So, not really a whole lot changed. It did, but it didn't. But, so, we'll see what happens, as I always say, too. But, yeah. Only one way to find out, and that is to continue to watch, AEW. Or whatever wrestling promotion you watch, whether it be WWE, AEW, New Japan, Ring of Honor, TNA, AAA, your local indie, independent company. So, this has been one of their better shows in quite some time. And credit, okay, they're on the road for the first time in a year and a half, but still, they've still put out good shows since. But, yeah, tonight, so everything advertised, everything added in, especially Alistair's debut. Like I said earlier, that has everybody talk. Penta with a quick roll up, and then a clothesline there, and then a code breaker as well to Matt. Hopefully JR doesn't mess up the closer for. We'll see it next week on WWE Dynamite. Now they'll have AEW Fighter Fest next week. Elbow misses from Kingston. And then a Pele from Nick into the corner. Matt and Nick, both Young Bucks, attacking Eddie Kingston now in the corner. Eddie Kingston trying to fight, but the Young Bucks a little too much for him right now. But here comes Penta. And then a super kick from him to Matt. And then a suplex up. Yeah, we'll say that's his suplex. And now DDT. And now Kingston's got a submission locked in on the Young Bucks on Matt as Nick is still up top. He's going to go flying here in a second, though, to break this up. He takes out the ref instead. A 450 splash as Matt is tapping out. Nick hits the 450 on the ref to take him out, so the Young Bucks will continue this match as your current champions. Hell, they should have lost right there. But now here come Gallo and Anderson. It is a street fight, so anything goes. So, Rick Knox down and out as your official. We'll see if another ref comes out or not. But as the Good Brothers come out, maybe Moxley does come out and help save or give them the tag team title. I don't know. Young Bucks are probably still going to end up retaining these. Penta taking out the Good Brothers now ringside with a dive. And then now Penta's back in the ring along with Eddie Kingston as the ref is trying to get back to his feet, but zero meadow. And then a spear from the Bucks to Kingston. And now here comes Brandon Cutler with that cold spray. They're going to try to spray. There's Moxley. Moxley from behind. Moxley. Or no, excuse me, that's Frank Kazarian. They say that's Frank Kazarian, but that has to be John Moxley. He's in a... Or no, that is Frank Kazarian. Okay. Thing is with SCU, they put Scorpio Sky with Ethan Page, and Kazarian's just floating around. And Christopher Daniels hasn't been seen in how long? He's backstage working, but it's just they had a thing going with SCU and they dropped it. 1, 2, 3 for Kingston and Penta on the Bucks, but there's no ref. Here comes a new referee. 1, 2, and now as the Young Bucks are being pinned, Matt was being pinned. Nick pulled the ref out of the ring. And then Kazarian now the big clothesline ringside. Big boot from, what is that, Gallows or Anderson? Yeah, Gallows and Anderson, big boot. They're going to go Magic Killer now on FK. And now Kingston's got a sack full of something, and he's going to get the thumbtacks out here, it looks like. So, I mean, still cue John Moxley's Rick Vaughn Wild Thing entrance to close out the show. Why the hell not? But, yeah, Penta and Eddie hit their finishers, had a pin, should have won twice because the Bucks tapped out as well, but the ref didn't see it because he's knocked out. Ref wasn't out there then. And now thumbtacks being thrown from the Bucks to Kingston. Here comes Penta as well. A lot going on here. Good sequence to close out this match for the finish. Nice Pele from Penta in the corner. Yeah, so Kazarian came out in a black sweatshirt and black pants, sort of what Moxley would wear. So that's what I thought it was John Moxley. Because they're like, who is that? And, you know, they look similar too. And then, of course, he took the hood down, Frank Kazarian. But Matt and Nick Jackson, 1, 2, and they actually break up their own pin as Kingston got involved there at the end, but off the top rope, Penta into the thumbtacks, AEW chance now, and now Eddie Kingston by himself, 1-on-1, 1-on-2 actually, against the Young Bucks. Double super kick party, more thumbtacks being thrown to Penta, and thumbtacks into the mouth of Eddie Kingston, and another super kick cover, 1, 2, 3, with a double pin, I might add, and the Young Bucks retain as they defeat Penta, El Zero Miedo, and Eddie Kingston tonight in the main event of AEW Dynamite, the Road Rager edition, in which we just witnessed a tag team championship street fight. Thumbtacks, steel chairs, garbage cans, tables, streamers, referees getting knocked out, new referee coming in. The Young Bucks should have lost twice, but typical heels, it makes sense. I'm fine with it. Gallows and Anderson came out as well. Gallows is on commentary. And that should do it as they hit the closing credits for AEW Dynamite tonight. And hey, JR, we'll see you next week on WWE Dynamite, right? No, next week it'll be AEW Fighter Fest, as they'll be in Austin, Texas. That'll be night one. That's going to be highlighted by Moxley and Carl Anderson for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship of the World, which should be a very damn good match. And then the following week will be night 2 of Fighter Fest, as it'll be in Dallas, and then Fight for the Fallen to close out the month of July. So I'll have live reactions next Wednesday of AEW Fighter Fest, along with a week from Friday, WWE Friday Night SmackDown. That Sunday, that same weekend, Money in the Bank. Following night, Monday Night Raw. Night 2 of Fyter Fest that Wednesday. Following Wednesday, Fight for the Fallen. As mentioned, myself, your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Co and Luke 96, will in fact be attending pro wrestling events for the next month as well. So keep an eye out for videos from those. However, be sure to tune back in live right here on YouTube for more live watch-along reactions of pro wrestling live right here on the channel. And thank you for tuning in tonight. Be sure, as always, to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. We'll end it with, hey, the big talking point of the evening, and that is Aleister Black is all in with AEW. He will now be known as Malachi Black, or Blacks. We'll see if they keep the S or not. But he hit a black mass, if he's still going to call it that. We'll see. On Arn Anderson about an hour or so ago now. So, of course, if you're tuning in and watching this on replay, you would already know that if you've watched it from start to finish. But if you fast forward all the way to the end here, well, rewind back to that point in time. It really shouldn't be that hard to find, because I absolutely went crazy, as everybody in the crowd did as well. Holy shit chants out the ass, as it was totally unexpected, especially this soon. If, it would have been 2 months at All Out, okay, then he's in AEW. Well, now he's in AEW, and we'll see if there's a non-compete clause, which there is, but if he got out of it, this is how he was able to do this. But maybe tonight was just a one-off, and they're not going to have him, whether they're still going to have him on TV or not, we'll see. I would hope so, continuing the feud with him and Cody. And as mentioned, Cody Rhodes putting him over. Can't pick a better opponent for him to start off with in AEW. But then his first official match in a non-compete clause would still be after or right before All Out, so he'd still be good to go. So it'll all add up, it'll all make sense, it all works itself out, so there's no need to worry. But excited for Malachi Blacks, if you will, as he's now in AEW. So that's the big part of the evening, as hopefully he's going to be free to do what the hell he wants, because I'll say it again, WWE dropped the ball with him, as they've dropped the ball with a lot of other talent, especially as of late with Aleister Black. As we thought, potentially going to Tom Yen, no. Maybe at some point in time, I don't know. But Malachi Black, a new fresh start. Maybe it's his Dark Father character that we were going to get with him in WWE in a feud with Big E just recently, within the past few months. But they fire him. Supposed to be a 90-day, 3-month non-compete clause, and that would have ended, of course, right before All Out, which is Labor Day. But here we are, sitting 3 days after the 4th of July, and he debuts on AEW Dynamite during the Road Rager edition tonight. So, Miami, the crowd was hot. They go to Texas for the next 2 weeks, and then North Carolina, before back home in Jacksonville, and then Pittsburgh, Houston, Milwaukee, and then Chicago for All Out. So we'll get there when we get there, of course, and Malachi is going to have a match against Cody, no doubt about it. And he'll go over. There's no doubt about that either. I just hope to God they'll push him to the moon. As Cameron Grimes would say, as mentioned earlier, just go back to watch my reaction of Aleister Black debuting as Malachi Blacks in All Elite Wrestling. Hangman Adam Page going to be the new #1 contender, it seems like, for Kenny Omega's world title as well. So that match will also take place at All Out. All Out pre-sale tickets go on sale tomorrow, so that's going to be a hot event to scoop up. They'll have Dynamite, Rampage, as that'll debut next month, and then Dynamite, they're selling combo tickets for that. They're selling combo tickets to the event I'm going to as well. So we'll see Dynamite and Rampage, along with WWE TV and house show as well. So as mentioned, just keep an eye out for videos right here on the channel. But the main focus tonight, with everything they had advertised and everything they added in the end, here as we wrap up to close out the first show back with live fans on the road with AEW, as they've had fans since last August, so almost a year now they've been back to live crowds. course, limited capacity until it got back to 100% just a few months ago for Double or Nothing. Hit Miami tonight. We'll be on the road from here on out until another pandemic. Knock on wood. Hopefully that never happens again. But yeah, the main focus, the big storyline, is Aleister Black is now in AEW as Malachi Black. So I'll leave you with that. And well, actually, in the comments below, let me know what you think of Malachi Black debuting in AEW means for him and the company moving forward. Who would you like to see him, face off against? Of course, this first one seems to be Cody Rhodes, and like I said, no one better to put over Aleister Malachi now moving forward. But it'll be interesting to see, to say the least, with what does in fact happen with Malachi moving forward. And, come on, what better name than Malachi? Like, Malachi Black. He went from Aleister to Malachi. So, yeah, he's now in AEW. And, hell, we had the face-to-face with Jericho and MJF earlier, too, which was fire. The whole show was good, for God's sakes. They had a few tag team matches for titles, a mixed tag, a six-man tag as well. Andrade made his in-ring debut. So, a lot, in fact, happened tonight. Britt Baker cut another fire promo as in 2 weeks at Fyter Fest Night 2 in the Big DMD Dallas, Texas for Britt Baker's Women's Championship title defense. She'll defend against Nyla Rose, it looks like. So, yeah. She dissed WWE a few times as well. With Blood Money and Saudi Arabia, which was pretty funny. But once more, and I thought, okay, earlier, the lights going out was for something else. But in the end, they went out during the South Beach strap match, kicked off the show with Cody Rhodes defeating QT Marshall. And then Arn Anderson, as they came back from a commercial break, he was in the ring, about to get interviewed by Tony Schiavone himself. Said, hey, we're glad to be back. Thank you for coming and all that. We're excited to see you're excited as much as you are to see us. And then the lights went out once more. And then Malachi Black's, formerly known as Tommy End and Aleister Black, emerged. He was standing in the corner, just as The Undertaker would, and hit a black mass on Arn, and then a black mass on Cody as Cody came out as well. So, yeah, the big storyline here this evening in All Elite Wrestling is Malachi Black's is now all in with AEW. So I'll leave you with that, and, like I said, let me know in the comments below what you think about him debuting, and who it makes more sense for, him, company as a whole. It's going to be a win-win both ways when it's all said and done anyway. But honestly, who would you like to see him face? And just be sure to like, follow, and subscribe as well. And so everybody now, next week for AEW Fyter Fest Night 1 and then Night 2 the following week. But next weekend, we'll have Money in the Bank as well with SmackDown and Raw on either side. So, yeah, Malachi Black's is all in with All Elite Wrestling. Be sure to hit that red subscribe button, little notification bell next to it as well. That is the easiest way to stay up to date. And I'll leave you with this. Thank you, AEW, for going out and signing Aleister Black, and hopefully you'll give him the full potential. I know you will, but give him as much room as he possibly needs to reach his limit, his superstar caliber potential that he has, that we all know he has, but WWE dropped the ball with him on. So, yeah, Malachi Black's is all in with AEW. Thanks for watching. Tune back in next week for Fyter Fest, SmackDown, Money in the Bank, Raw, and then Fyter Fest Night 2 as well, followed by Fight for the Fallen, as we are now officially on the road to WWE SummerSlam and AEW All Out, in which we'll see Cody Rhodes put over Malachi Black as Malachi Black. Malachi Black, formerly known as Aleister Black, is now all in once more for the however many times I've said it tonight. He's all in with AEW. Malachi Black thank you for coming to AEW. AEW, thank you for signing him. He's all in with AEW. Malachi Black's is All Elite Wrestling.